Tatiana, thank you for having this conversation with me. I'm really curious because this space has gathered up so many people from so many eclectic different backgrounds. So many people have unique entry points into it. So tell me, how did you get into cryptocurrency, and what about what you were doing made that a sensible move?
When I was growing up, I was always intrigued with the idea of music and using music to convey a certain message. So I always talk about Cat Stevens' Peace Tree, and it had a really profound effect on me. And in 2011, I found out about the Federal Reserve. And so I joined the Ron Paul Revolution, and I was fortunate enough to sing all around the country for thousands of people. But in August of 2018, I sort of lost my belief in the political system as a method to create change. And around that time, the guys from BitPay sponsored me at a performance, and then they came up to New York and they told me all about Bitcoin. And I was really not interested in Bitcoin at all because I hate technology, I hate finance. And what I found interesting was that, even though I knew that the Federal Reserve was my arch enemy, I still couldn't get into Bitcoin. Later on, as I learned about how Bitcoin could really truly impact the world, it became a natural evolution for me, because sometimes politics can be very divisive, but through cryptocurrency, you can achieve a lot of the same ends and not necessarily get stonewalled right off the bat because somebody doesn't identify, let's say, as a libertarian.
Why is voluntary important to you?
Well, because I think a lot of things done by the government are by force. A lot of people will say something like taxation is theft. Just because you have a badge on and you're saying that you're going to take this money for good, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll do good with it, and it doesn't make it moral. So I prefer interactions with people where people are voluntarily going into it. They're not being forced into it. And I think that has led to a lot of success in the world, and I'd like to see more of that.
It's awesome to see that you take such an eclectic approach to this. One of the things I think is really unique about you is that you're not just a musician who has, you said, hey, I support cryptocurrency, but you're a musician that's actually been involved in this space. What role does the music and the artistic component play in how you're getting involved in this space?
Well, for me, when I was getting into the space, I created the world's first artist cryptocurrency, Tatiana Coin.
Tell me about that. Tell me a lot about that.
So Tatiana Coin for me was a solution for fans and funding. A lot of people in the blockchain music side are looking for ways to register your work. But what I see as a bigger problem is that most artists, they don't even get to record their work. They don't ever get to that point because they have to have 4 jobs, and it's hard to maintain a fan base when Facebook owns all of your data. So when we created Tatiana Coin, what we did was we allowed my fans to support me, and they get back a flexible reward, a Tatiana Coin, that they can use in my store as a gift certificate, or they can send it around to their friends, which allows them to have adoption. And then because of that coin, I'm now directly connected with my fan base. And so it's allowing people to almost build on that tribal idea. If you have 1,000 fans, you can have a completely sustainable career. So I like bringing music into it, not only because I think that blockchain can provide artists an outlet to support their careers, but if they can understand the beauty of blockchain and Bitcoin and all these currencies, maybe they can go out and be advocates for some of the more freedom-oriented sides. If you work at a bank, you can't talk about all the revolution that you can start with a cryptocurrency. But if you're an artist, that's right up your alley. And as you know, the bond between an artist and the listener is something that's really, really, truly unique, and it allows you an intimacy and a trust level that is something that takes a lot of time for regular people to do. So if artists can be the messenger for some of these ideas, I think that's the end goal for me. I would love to see more artists in the community, and I've seen that going on, especially down here, so it's been really great.
One thing that's said very frequently, and you and I both know it's not true, is that there's no women in blockchain. Obviously, you're one woman in blockchain. What positive impact do you think women will have on blockchain, and more than anything, just the paradigm of the feminine? How can blockchain benefit from integrating the feminine more into our daily operations and how we approach these questions?
Well, I absolutely love all the women that I've met in this space. There are so many inspiring women, so it's always kind of silly when they say there's no women in blockchain. They might not be on the stage, but they're definitely behind the scenes. Plus, a lot of women love to see another woman representing them. You want to see yourself in the people talking about the space. There's a lot of women worldwide that can benefit from cryptocurrency in terms of achieving their own autonomy, being able to be more free. So if we can get more women talking about those issues that maybe are a little bit more resonant with the female community, we can bring in a lot more people. And I think that's really empowering. And I mean, that's in line with my views for sure. Not just women, I want to bring everybody in.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time
Thank you so
and
much
for having this
me.
conversation.
It was really cool to chat.